Welcome back. Alex Pretti was shot by federal immigration agents nearly 7 months ago, and to this day, his parents have never been told who those agents are, despite asking for that information several times. Will they ever know? Will the public know? It's one of the many questions our Jana Shortle had for the Pretti family attorney, Steve Slisher.
Everyone in the world, it seems, watched Alex Pretti die, including his family.
It's been a nightmare for the family.
A nightmare that began by watching the video of his killing without hearing about it first from the federal government.
They didn't find out from anyone reaching out to them, telling them what happened.
They didn't tell them? They found out through news reports?
That's right. They found out through news reports just like all of the rest of us. And the only information that they were receiving from the federal government was lies about Alex.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
The video does not back up that statement by then Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. The video shows Alex Pretti recording agents' activity with his phone on the street, which is legal. It then shows him rushing to help a woman shoved to the ground by agents, and seconds later be pepper sprayed, wrestled to the ground, have his legally holstered firearm taken off of his body, and then shot in the back multiple times.
You can't look at the video and see what happened and have any ability to believe anything that was being said on the time at that day.
And as of this day, Slisher says the Pretti family still isn't getting what he calls basic information.
What are the names of the shooters? Tell us who they are. Who murdered Alex? Who murdered their son? The federal government has known the identities of the shooters since the moment it happened, yet that's been withheld.
But this case is filled with examples of things not happening that historically would have happened. Steve Slisher would know, as he worked as an assistant U.S. attorney for 13 years and as a special prosecutor in the murder trial of Derek Chauvin.
The Chauvin prosecution, in the George Floyd case, the federal and state government worked side by side in that case. The agents were literally sitting next to each other when interviews were being conducted. That was during the first Trump administration, right? So what's different now? What's different here?
Seeing this through.
1 month ago today, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty said the feds are now sharing evidence with the state in the killing of Alex Pretti. But Steve Slisher says he's not sure what that means.
When I had a meeting with Dan Rosen, the U.S. Attorney's office, he wouldn't confirm that or deny that.
Why?
That's a great question for U.S. Attorney Rosen, but he wouldn't.
U.S. Attorney Daniel Rosen wouldn't confirm or deny it for us either. And because of that, in addition to the government statements about Alex and the lack of sharing evidence from day one and the refusal to tell the Pretti family who the agents who shot Alex are, Slisher is at a crossroads.
Without answers, basic answers to simple questions, there's no path to accountability. But I don't believe that the citizens of this state are going to tolerate that. I don't believe in my heart that people are going to accept that this is just the world we live in now. And so I believe in the end there will be accountability and there will be justice.
So there is a possibility.
There has to be.
Or else what?
If there is no accountability for really the public killing of a man doing nothing but exercising his constitutional rights and being exactly where he was entitled to be, then that's a pretty dark picture for the country. I don't think people will tolerate it. I just don't believe it.
Powerful words from Steve Slisher there. That's Jana Shortle reporting. Moving on, a White Bear Lake company is on the brink of a major innovation to help people with hearing loss, creating the first ever fully implanted cochlear device. The invisible design, not only transforming lives, its production means hundreds of local jobs as well. Jennifer Hoff shows us.
A gloomy day
It's been a journey for sure.
is no match for the excitement at Envoy Medical, a manufacturing company in White Bear Lake led by Brent Lucas,
This is our cochlear implant.
creating the world's
This
first
would be
fully
completely
implanted
implanted.
device, a breakthrough 30 years in the making.
It's pretty awesome to see it come to fruition.
The design made entirely here. Dozens of people dedicated to helping others with trouble hearing.
Hearing loss is an invisible disability, and it really can remove you from society, and people just don't give it the attention it deserves.
It causes isolation and depression. Derek Barlow knows all too well since losing his hearing decades ago.
Just the fear of, what? I can't hear you all the time.
Barlow determined to find a solution since becoming a dad. Stumbled on a clinical trial, getting the inner ear surgery this year, calling it a near overnight success.
I didn't hear the seatbelt. I didn't hear the blinker. The day that I came home with this implant turned on, I heard all those things.
Barlow is one of 56 patients, part of a study Lucas says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is set to approve soon, designating the device a breakthrough that's historically complicated to construct. This animation showing its sensors directly stimulating nerves, imitating what microscopic hair cells would do before hearing loss, picking up the vibrations that are then sent to the brain, unlike other devices that use an external microphone.
Not everybody wants to walk around sort of with this big scarlet letter on the side of their head that says, I have a hearing disability.
A Minnesota company changing the game and lives, one implant at a time. In White Bear Lake, Jennifer Hoff, KARE 11 News.
Stick with us. We got more news and weather coming up after the break.